How about a 5-inch Kephart sheath knife for $2 with a sheath and a knife? Anyway, that's what I want to make. I want to make an old sheath. Well, I want to make a sheath that looks old, and I want to make a Kephart knife, all from scratch. So that's my project. Hang out with me and see if I can do it. Before I put scales on this knife, I thought I would just trace this pattern onto a piece of steel that I already had. And maybe I'll just go ahead and try to make my own first and leave this for a pattern. The only difference between the one I've traced out here, as you can see on the back, I don't even know what you call it, but I put a little, I'll show you. I think I'm gonna put a little, hell, I don't know what you call it. A little bump on the back right here, so that it won't be just a straight handle, but so it'll, you know, won't slip out of my hand. Yeah, it looks a little rough. Now this is the first one, this is the first knife that I'm going to have to heat treat. The other knives that I made were, I just cut the blades out of steel that was already heat treated, you know, and I just kept it cool when I was cutting it, when I was shaping mine. This is just a regular piece of, you know, regular steel. Never been a blade or anything. I'm going to have to consult the University of YouTube and Professor Chitwood to show me how to heat treat this the proper way. I don't have a forge. Anyway, we'll see what happens. It'll be cool. I got one little place in it right there. I don't know what. Maybe I can polish it out or something. Anyway, all freehand. I don't have any jigs or anything, any fancy knife making stuff. Just my 1x30 sander. Well, I kind of messed up my blade. Well, I'm not. When I well, I'll just show you. When I traced my Condor knife blank onto my metal, I used the same place for the holes. But since I made my handle a little bit thicker and put this knob on the back, those holes just look, those holes didn't look, they weren't in the middle anymore. So I drilled some new holes. And I guess once I put the scales on, nobody will ever know. Except for all y'all, huh? Anyway, I've been trying to think of how am I going to heat this thing up. I don't have a forge. So I kind of came up with an idea. As you know, I have a wide variety of burners, stoves, all kinds of camping stuff, and all kinds of cook stoves and all that. But I was thinking, wonder if I could, you know, I got the vermiculite insulated in rocket stove here. I wonder if I could lay my knife blank in here or in the chimney and fire this rascal up and get it red hot. when I leave the fan on, it's definitely hotter. I wish I had one of those thermal temperature things, but I don't. But it's been in there at least 10 minutes. And at last check, it was changing colors, but it's not red. We'll just keep it going and see what happens. All right, I'm gonna check it out. Olivia, you want to hold this?
No, thank you.
It's probably pretty toasty. I'm gonna spin it around. I know. Wow, that's pretty hot. That's real hot. Woo, woo, woo.
It's fire though.
Man. All right, I'm gonna turn that blade around because I have a feeling it's pretty red. In fact, I think I'm gonna get on this side. I can get up here better. It's still, it's not non-magnetic yet. Keep on going. Can you see it in there? It's red. I turned it around and put the handle in, and the handle got red. I touched on the speaker, and that part wasn't magnetic. So I spun it, turned it back around, put the point down into the coils, and then hopefully the handle will maintain the temperature. And then I'll pull it out in a minute and see if the whole thing is non-magnetic. And then I'm going to quench it. Some people say vegetable oil, some people say water. Hell, I even heard about somebody using beer. But since I got water out here, that's what I'm going to use. Evidently you're supposed to quench it with the blade tip pointing north and the blade part first, so that's what I'm going to do. What about these handmade, hand-forged kind of tong things? Very cool. Can you see the price I paid? $5. My first forged blade. I got it to where it was red hot, all at the same time. It was red hot, and it wasn't magnetic, and I quenched it blade first. That's north. So now I'll clean it up a little bit and heat treat in the oven. I kind of made a little rack to hold the blade, because I didn't want to lay it flat in my oven, because I've seen where it puts lines sometimes on it from the oven, so I'm just gonna lay it in here. Stick that in the oven. Ha! 2 hours. Well, it's supposed to have a golden wheat color, looks like copper. Let's check it out. Well, definitely looks like it's copper. I don't know if you can see it. Now I just have to do it one more time for 2 more hours. Well, the second 2-hour heat treat process in the oven's over. So I got this copper patina on here. I'm using my finest grit, I don't know, emery cloth, my finest one. Kind of wiping that off, and then I'll polish it. Man, that polishing part is tough, man. I couldn't get out all the marks on the blade, but I got most of them. I'll work on it a little bit more. Well, I wanted to make an old-fashioned looking Kephart knife. Anyway, there you go so far. Remember, it's supposed to look vintage. I don't want it to look brand new, and I don't want to make it so pretty that I'm afraid to use it. So, anyway, I don't know if can you see? I'm pleased with the way this, I got to learn what that thing is called other than a knob. But I'm pleased with the way that looks. I'm pleased with the way it fits my hand. But that's all I can do on the sander. The rest I'll have to finish by hand. Okay, well, I'm going to change up to a finer grit sandpaper, but I'm pretty pleased with the way it looks. I tell you what, that boiled linseed oil, it really does make wood. It sure does change up things. Man, it makes it really look good. Can you see it? Oh yeah, man. That fits my hand good. I gotta take the tape off. I can't wait to see it. I don't know, can you see it? I hope you can. I think it looks pretty good. For me, you know, I'm not a knife maker, right? Don't laugh at my beer. I was in such a rush to get home to work on my knife, I forgot to go by the store. And it's what my wife drinks these sometimes, so she won't miss a couple of them. Anyway, check it out. You know, I made a couple of those knives out of those old sidewalk trimmer blades, but I didn't feel like I could really call myself an accomplished knife maker unless I, you know, made one out of a piece of metal that I had in the garage and forged it and heat treated it and put my own scales and everything on it. It's balanced good. I like it. Anyway, I know it's a long video, but thanks for hanging out to the end so you can see the finished project. And so I've done it. So I appreciate you hanging out with me, and we'll see you next time. Bye.